And the purpose of the speech is to get members to practice using a story within a speech, or given a speech that is a story. He's going to focus on using the story in his speech and creating a speech that is a story. So the member may use any type of story, personal, well-known fiction, or one that is of his own creation. And he will be speaking until he's finished.
Until he's finished. So
What
you
was
guys
that?
might wanna
Speaking
just do the
till
timer.
eternity? Was
He
that?
doesn't need the lights probably, but it's your fault. Well, our speaker this morning, of course, is Rich. He's taught public speaking at colleges for 40 years, including a humor class. He promises you that you will learn one idea to make your next presentation your best. Let me say that again. He promises you will learn one idea to make your next presentation your best. Speaking on Let 'em See Your Pride and Joy, Rich Briner.
Cool. Even though my evaluator is not in the room, I'm going to begin.
Oh, we're here.
This speech is the story about how I found this card and what I did with it as a teacher and what you can do with this card to make your next presentation your best. Is that clear?
Yes.
I'm going to say it louder so my evaluator can hear me. This speech is the story of how I found this card, how I used it as an educator, and how it can help you make your next presentation your best. At the conference this week, the target speaker gave a speech called The Pursuit of Excellence. The Pursuit of Excellence. And in that speech, he said, if you want to pursue excellence and you want to get better quicker as a speaker, be the most of what you do best. Gesundheit. Be the most of what you do best. Build on your strengths as a speaker. So what is your best strength as a speaker? Are you witty and humorous like Edmund? If so, be the most of what you do best. Are you full of economic information and finances on how you can help older people like Randy? Be the most of what you do best. Are you a person who can speak from the heart like Karen Grove? Be the most of what she does best in your next speech. Are you like Corky Grove when you do an evaluation like he does? He's able to show people how to get better. He doesn't just evaluate and take a suggestion. He doesn't just give suggestions on how to improve. He shows how. So every time you do an evaluation, be the most of what you do best as an evaluator. I could keep going on, but that's the idea of the pursuit of excellence that we heard at the conference in the target speech. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, yeah, I've done that for years. I've asked my students to be the most of what they do best. When I went to a humor conference in 1989 and 1990 by Joel Goodman in Saratoga Springs, New York, he stood up there and there were like 100 people, teachers and all kinds of folks who wanted to learn more about humor. And he pulled out one of these cards and he gave each one of us these cards. He said, you can lighten people's lives. You know, maybe you can't control, maybe you can't bring world peace, and maybe you can't do these phenomenal things to make the world a better place, but you can brighten up your corner of the world. You can brighten up your corner of the world. How? people in the audience said, "How, Joe Goodman, can we do that?" He said, "With this card." He said, "This is a harmless, practical joke that you can keep in your wallet. And you can lead people into talking about their kids or their grandkids. And then at some proper moment, you say, 'Would you like to see my pride and joy?' You don't wait for the answer. You just pull it out and you flip it out there and you show them. And two things happen right away. You can tell if they're having a good day or a bad day right off the bat. You know, in the fast checkout line recently, I whipped this out and I said, "Would you like to see my pride and joy?" And she looked at it and she said, "Very funny. Next." You know, not having a good day. The first time I did this, I was in the fast checkout line at, gosh, she still hasn't come back.
I'm doing it.
Okay,
I'm doing it.
okay. The first time I did this, I was in the fast checkout line at Albertsons. And I got to, as I approached the cashier, I could see she had a badge on with pictures of two teenage girls. And I thought to myself, this is going to be easy. So I walked up, and as she was checking the stuff out, I looked over at her. I said, "Are those your kids?" She said, "Yes." She stopped and she said, This is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, and they go over to the junior high, and they're blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, there's a long line in the fast checkout line. And I said, "Would you like to see my pride and joy?" And I whipped it out, and she looked. She started laughing. She started laughing. She just put her hands down like this. She said, "You got to show that to Ethel. Show that to Ethel. Ethel, you got to see this." You know. So I stepped out of the line and walked over. You know, and there were 3 or 4 people in her line, so they couldn't mess around too much. But let them see your pride and joy. It is a way to brighten up your little corner of the world. It doesn't cost anything. But on the back, this is the key. On the back of the card, it's a reminder. Let them see your pride and joy. If you want to make your next presentation your best, let them see your pride and joy. What does it mean? It just simply means be the most of what you do best. Put a piece of yourself into it and leave something behind. If you want to make your next presentation your best, try this. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rich. I have done that. I have in my briefcase some pride and joy cards that you gave out, well, not once, several times over the last 25, 26 years.
I have one.
I had quite a few. I've handed some out too to them. So thank you for that.
Fantastic.
My speech ideas.
Our timers, what is his time for that?
His time was 7 minutes and 16 seconds.
Wow. Okay, you did it. You did it. If you would, please, you can take your comment cards and pass something on to Rich if you like, or just wait during the evaluation and pass that on at the time. You can certainly do that as well. May 7th, 1885. How many of you remember Gabby Hayes, the actor?